welcome back to Nightly Nerds. I'm Tote.
And I'm Ginger.
And we're playing
Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
I'm just trying to check for lore. I know we missed a bunch, and I'm pretty sure we can't go back and get it, but...
Isn't lore like a weapon in Lovecraftian games?
Sometimes, yeah.
I'd watched a little biography on Lovecraft. It was very interesting. Some of it I knew, but some of it I didn't know. He was a complicated guy.
Yeah, he was.
With a pretty brutal life.
Died penniless.
Yep. He was like the when he did become famous. It was after his death. He blew up in Europe first.
Yes.
But he was kind of like the modern at the time Edgar Allan Poe, and his life kind of paralleled it. You know, a lot of tragedy early on.
I'm getting such anxiety because like she's labored because of what happened, and it shows, and I'm just like, ah.
Just a teenager, but not like the others. Barely functioning, she rarely left the house. Her father's inval made sure of that. Only occasionally did she venture out on her own, collecting firewood and herbs. Errands out in the Orkney Plains.
You know what I'd really like to learn more about?
What?
Joan of Arc.
Yeah. She's...
I know like the myth of it. I mean, I'm not saying I know she was a real person, but I mean, like, I know like the whole talk to God, led the army to defeat the French.
I mean, then there's also the
English, right? She was French.
The terrible people. Yeah, she was French. It was a French-English war.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was the terrible, like, obsessed kind of villain type character, Gilles de Rais, who was like essentially a what is it? What was his name? The English serial killer. Can't remember his name.
Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper. Yeah, he was like a French Jack the Ripper, and he I think he specifically murdered children and young girls.
Oh, jeez.
And like, he was obsessed with Joan of Arc.
Oh, no. I watched the thing about him, if it's who I think it is. It was all bullshit, they think.
Of Gilles de Rais?
Yeah, what he supposedly did. It's still like a common tale they talk about they in French, right?
Okay.
But they really think that he was just a victim of slander because the church wanted his property.
It's very possible.
So they made it all up because there was children going missing, but they're pretty sure it was because the priests were doing what priests do. Yeah. And then killing the kids. But they needed a scapegoat and they wanted his land and property.
That's very possible.
There will be time.
It's like 100%, but a lot of historians kind of think none of it was true. Kind of like Madame Bathory.
Yeah.
Who was a horrible person, but she didn't actually bathe in blood. There's like no true accounts of that they're 100% showed of. But she did like torture and kill a bunch of girls.
Yeah.
She was a sadistic bitch, but she wasn't like a vampire.
Because the whole
so this is one thing, like, as much as anime gets a little bit of a bad rap sometimes, the Fate Stay series, because it's an anime as well as books, or anime, manga, and video games, and a lot of them have their own lore that doesn't intersect with each other. Like, it's all canon, but like they don't ever like fully adapt to one or the other. Yeah. Into multiple things. And like the Fate series is based off of legends and heroes, and
yeah, I think the one I did watch a little bit was Arthurian.
Yeah.
Well, Arthur and Lancelot and all that stuff.
Yeah, because the main character is Saber, and who is King Arthur. Spoiler for those that don't know, but like because each of the anime characters are like wizards, and they summon a class type: Saber, Lancer, Archer, Rider, Mage, and so on. And you know, they'll summon characters from legends. Oh, and Berserker, like Hercules was a Berserker.
Okay, yeah.
Alexander the Great was a rider, and because he rode his chariot into battle.
Well, he had his horse. There was a horse. His name was like Oxhead in English. I don't know what it was in Greek or Macedonian.
And like one of the more recent ones, which I need to try to find the other season for it, but Fate Apocrypha, which is partly on Netflix, has like Joan of Arc being like this mediary, because it was like, because the story is like it's the Holy Grail War, the last summon and magician, or last summon and wizard to win gets the Holy Grail and can make a wish. Oh, Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was another one too. I after watching different episodes and different seasons, I would like deep dive into mythos and legends and lore, and the Legend of Gilgamesh, I think, is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, his horse, Alexander the Great's horse was Bucephalus, which meant ox's head, because apparently he was like a big, thick, strong horse.
Yeah. But yeah, the Legend of Gilgamesh. Because, again, spoilers. It's an old anime, but spoilers. Because Gilgamesh in the Fate series, everyone has like their noble phantasm. So like, Saber, King Arthur draws Excalibur from from the sword and just like essentially decimates in holy power and whatever.
Yeah.
For Alexander, he summons his army and rides into battle with them.
Yeah.
And Gilgamesh is technically a legend and whatnot, but he was never famous for doing anything really. He was famous for having a treasury. So he would summon all these weapons that were powerful, but he himself was not. And so it's like he's technically one of the most powerful and one of the most weak. And I was just like, it's interesting. It's an interesting way to adapt him too, because
it's like without his treasure he's weak, but with his treasure he's powerful.
Yeah. A king and an emperor without riches, with and without.
Ah.
There's another one.
I would just like to know more about Joan of Arc, because I've always heard the like the legend of her, like the I just want to know, do they think she was she crazy? Was she a charlatan? What was she?
Yeah.
But she did lead them to victory.
She did.
But then she was betrayed and burned as a heretic, and then after she was dead, made a saint. And
yeah,
I just kind of want to know. I really would like to know more about her. Without taking a women's studies class.
The stuff I did look up, it was very interesting.
She was also like young, right?
She was 14, very young, which is why if the allegation against Gilles de Rais was true, makes him a lot more creepy.
Well, but he might have just been obsessed with her because he was also very religious.
That's true.
You know.
But yeah, she was like
he named his church. I can't remember what he named it, because he built a church and he named it, and it was kind of a slap to the face of the church.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good thing, but it was kind of like it was like one of those like borderline Protestant kind of things to do. And so they didn't like him, and he had more power than they did.
Oh yeah.
So they didn't like that. So it was like a quick biography I watched about it, and they kind of were like implying like these are the allegations made against him, but by all accounts they probably weren't true.
Probably.
Because all his they also claimed like he would have parties, and he would have boys there for his friends and him to torture and do things to, and then eat them or whatever. And everybody said none of this ever happened, including people who didn't necessarily like him. They're like, this isn't true. But if we get rid of him, we get his church, we get his money, we get everything. We take it all away from him. But it's kind of like one of those things where the legend of his cruelty and evil it just caught fire, and everybody knows the story, so he kind of like the boogeyman.
Yeah.
So everyone knows the story. Kind of like George Washington in the cherry tree thing.
Yeah.
Like, is it real?
Oh, that's right. This one's gonna make me cry.
Like Johnny Appleseed, who apparently was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy as shiznat.
How does he so effortlessly caught the world on bliss? If only she could do the same. See the world through eyes anew, and dance with it, just like he does.
It's so pretty.
It is.
Oh, it's so pretty.
What's your name?
Senua.
I haven't seen you before.
I don't leave home much.
Oh, Zenua's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait. Who taught you to fight like that?
No one.
No one.
I want to talk, but I don't at the same time.
I watched
Yeah.
you, and
Oh.
Learned all of that from watching me? You should become a warrior, you know.
me?
I'm Dilly. I'm here for the warrior trials. Come and watch. And bring your sword.
You can't put it into words. That moment when you look into the eyes of the one who's supposed to reassure you, make you feel safe. It only takes an instant.
I mean, he fought in the 100 Years' War too, Gilles de Rais.
Oh, okay.
So,
And darkness becomes a part.
So one thing, okay. So I'm never against religion. I'm against the organization of religion because people just
well, religion has its place. There's a reason why it exists.
and just people corrupt it.
Yeah.
Because if yeah, again, Gilles de Rais is an example. If he was
was a-
completely innocent, then it's the church being, the people in the church, the organization of that church being corrupt.
Yeah. I think that my brother had pulled a quote out that he learned once, and it was from one of the. It was a time where there was two popes fighting each other, and or something, or afterwards or something, and there was a quote from one of the popes,
Yeah.
and he was talking about the riches of the church, and he said the myth of Christ has served us well. So it was implying that. I may not have been implying, but it seemed as if he didn't even believe it.
Yeah.
But it gives me control over the people.
Yeah.
So, and it's made me wealthy.
Is that you?
Might have said like this myth of Christ or
Yeah.
something like that.
I'll find you. I promise.
This was the part that got me really excited when I kept playing the game, because after that whole bridge scene, I got spooked and I was just like, nope, I'm done. I'm done.
Spooky, scary, scaly mans.
Because I believe. Okay, let's go to the tree first.
You know how there's like certain imagery that just works for you?
Yeah.
So like for some people it's like Asian stuff. Like they love, you know, they want to have kimonos and they want to have rock gardens and they want to have, you know, I mean, that imagery works for them. It just makes them feel like something about it feels right for them. For some people, it's villas and stucco and Spanish style houses and things like that. Norse stuff does it for me. I don't know
Same.
why, and I don't. The thing is, I have none of that around me anywhere. So I didn't grow up in a place where it is. But for some reason, I don't know. Maybe there is like a cultural, like a not a cultural, but like a genetic thing to go with it. Because you and I are both genetically Norse,
Like
but
Scandinavian.
Scandinavian, yeah. Like I'm Danish and you're
Welsh.
Yeah, well, Welsh is a little bit different, but I'm Danish, and you're what?
Norwegian and
Scottish. Yeah. So just like there's just something about this that just feels right. But I live in a desert in the United States, Southwest United States, like with stucco homes and
what is it?
Everything's modern.
New Mexico, very heavy type of
styling of everything.
Western. Yeah. So here's
Like even the religious stuff of just seems right too. Like
it makes sense.
the wood and the way they like the bundles of sticks, the way they design them. It just feels like I need to be a pagan, man. I need to be a Norse pagan. I don't know why. It just always seems right to me. The bones and everything.
We've talked about it in the past, but like the monotheistic religions to me make no sense.
Oh yeah. Well, even Like Judeo-Christian.
Judeo-Christian is
the
more.
largest theistic, and as well as Islam, which is based on Judeo-Christian. Originally, Hebrew or Judaism wasn't monotheistic.
No, it was polytheistic.
There were other gods, but there was the one true God, who was like the God of men,
Yes.
and that was
Which
Jehovah
which that makes sense to me.
Yahweh or whatever his name
Yeah.
is, depending what you. And so he even talked about there are other gods, but he's a jealous God, and you're not supposed to worship those other gods. You're supposed to worship him.
Exactly.
And when you read like when you read the Bible, and there's the story of Moses and stuff. Everything Moses did, the priests were able to duplicate with their God's help.
Yeah.
Their God just was an evil God, or not as powerful
Yeah.
as the God of Moses. I remember watching was it Xena?
Yeah.
And they had one. It had an episode. It was kind of like
Where they
that.
did like a whole
the God of Abraham thing.
Yeah. But before we continue, let's
end this episode.
Let's end this episode.
All right, everyone. That'll end this episode of Nightline Ads. As always, I'm Tote,
And I'm Ginger.
and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye bye. Hey, did you like that video?
Well, if you did, click the box on the right for another.
Click the box on the left for a playlist.
Of course, you could always just subscribe by clicking the link in the middle.
Come find us on social media.
There are links in the description below.
Don't be afraid to leave us a comment.
Thanks for watching. I'm Tote.
I'm Ginger. See you then.
Bye.